David. It is so good to see you again. It's been a long time.
You got that classy Halloween poster in the back. I like that.
Dude, I've been a fan of this. I saw it as a kid. I saw it as a 7-year-old kid, and it fucked me up for life. But I feel like it's one of those things that was, like I was telling John, he was the first director I knew. Like, that was the first real introduction to what it is to make a movie and get a reaction. What was your first introduction to Halloween?
My first introduction to Halloween was at at my friend's sleepover party when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and everybody gathered around because the movie that we'd all heard so much about. I could tell you the story before I'd seen the movie, but it was something you talk about on the playground and in the lunch counter. It's like Revenge of the Nerds and Halloween were the movies to see, right? And so and for those of us that had strict parents like mine, we had to go hang out with the naughty boys and see where, whose parents were going to let us put on the VHS. So that was the first time I saw it, was a double feature at my buddy's house of the film Angel and Halloween, the original Halloween. And I was so disturbed by both movies. There's an egg-eating scene in Angel that haunts me to this day, and then Halloween for all of its traumatic moments to a young impressionable mind. And so I got sick and called my parents to take me home.
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
I didn't make it through the sleepover. So and so in a weird way, this has kind of come full circle. So it's fun to be able to take things that I was really the allure of horror was always something I was very scared. I was a very sensitive kid, but I was drawn to things that scared me. And so something like Halloween was a perfect example of the movie that once I was brave enough to keep my eyes open and watch the movie, those provocative qualities became something, kind of a badge of honor that I would talk about all the time.
Sure. And the thing is, you have gone back. What an opportunity to go back and tell a story from the original. Never mind anything that came before. How easy was it to come up, and why 3 films? Why was it always 3, or was there kind of a thought pattern as to how do I tell this story that I want to tell?
I'll give you the real answer is I'd never done a sequel, and most of the films I've made are not commercially successful. A lot of what I've done for my 20 years of filmmaking is low budget, modest budget independent movies that not many people see. And so the idea of making something that there's an appetite for, that there's an excitement for and a fan base for, I had no idea the adrenaline that would give me creatively. And so as a huge fan of Halloween, I've got this responsibility that I look at. I'm less of a creator and more of a curator. I'm a caretaker of this property. And so I want it to be done right. And it's one thing to relaunch a title like this and then let it go, but I did feel through my relationship with John Carpenter, I feel protective of it and beloved of my relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis. And so these things are not just a selfish opportunity for success, but they become an emotional part of my profession. And so I want to see it through. I want to create a complete narrative, and I want to be able to ride through a wave of success that I haven't seen much of in my career.
Well, and one of the things I've always appreciated about your work, Snow Angels kills me every time, is how you approach grief, how you approach loss, tragedy. You do that here in a horror film, in a slasher movie, when it's generally you see your best pal die and you do nothing and you're just like, you move on. How difficult is that to balance in the midst of a very violent and very brutal horror film?
It's not hard at all, because I feel like it's an essential ingredient of me connecting with a performer. And so it's those moments, Snow Angels, a movie that I worked very hard on and very few people saw, so even hearing it referenced warms my heart, because there's so many strange moments. There's a moment in that film with Sam Rockwell dancing with a woman dressed up like Freddy Krueger in a bar, and it's a silent scene, and it's the heartbreaking subtlety of that. And so if you can bring that into those little textures into a movie like this, like Halloween, where you get the thrill ride of a genre convention, and you, believe me, you lean into tropes and cliches, and you use that as a part of your buffet, and then you sprinkle on these moments, these textures, these atmospheres that I think are more meaningful, are more human, are more emotional. Then the hope is that you can connect the genre pieces, so it's not just, some of my favorite movies are schlock, so I use the term affectionately, but it's not just that. There's other layers to appreciate the movie, the performances, and the narrative on.
Well, I love the fact that, as well as the grief, you amped up the body count on this one. I mean, geez, no one is safe in this film. Was there anyone that said, well, maybe we should tone down, maybe we can't go that far? Because you go far with this. I think farther than any sequel before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not one of those sickos that counts the deaths, which I know people are already doing the math on that one. But yeah, it is chaos, and it is they've really pissed off Michael when they lit him on fire and threw him in the basement. So he's got something to say in the ways that he responds to that. So yeah, it's for me, the middle chapter of a trilogy is almost liberating, because where we do want it to be a satisfying episode in its own right, it doesn't need to have such a tidy resolve and payoff because we anticipate there's going to be an ending chapter. So it is fun just to, in some ways, we just get to go into the toy closet and make a mess. We get all the toys out and we just go crazy and eat all the candy, and then we slam the door in your face and leave.
Well, I also as a fan, you know this, bringing in some of these original actors in playing the original roles they played in the 1978 movie. What a treat that is for a fan watching it. How did that come about, and how early on?
Well, it's just, I can always be guilty of fan service, but I'm a fan, and I am in charge of writing these with my co-writers. It's a privilege to apply the fan service, I think. So it was from the moment we started talking about expanding it from our film, or the 2018 film, and wanting to know more about Haddonfield and wanting to invite some of these characters. And so we're honoring, our effort is at least to honor what John Carpenter and Deborah Hill created in 1978. And it's some of it's obvious, and big Season of the Witch fan here. So when something like that shows up, an Easter egg like that, I think a lot of people gravitate to it and either roll their eyes because they didn't like the movie, or they love it because they did. And then we have deep cuts like early in the film, there's a scene of 3 triplets on stage singing a song at a bar, and that's a song from the band that John Carpenter and Tommy Wallace and Nick Castle were in the 80s called the Coupe de Villes. And so there's also this other layer of like super weirdo Easter eggs that even subtler and even more fun to dive even deeper, go subterranean with our nods in this one.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you say Michael is pissed off in this movie. He's really fucking pissed off. Without giving much away, because I know you know where it's going, and I know you know where we're going to Halloween Ends. Is there a word that you can describe that we can expect from Halloween Ends?
For Halloween Ends, well, it's interesting. I like half an hour ago, I was talking to Carpenter, and he hasn't read the new draft with our new ending, so even he's not privy as to where we're ending. And so it is, and that's also to say it's evolving because we haven't gone into production, and who knows where it goes after we've staged it and rehearsed it and choreographed it and edited it. Maybe something totally different. So I don't want to say too much because I may get whimsical and change it. Yeah. In its simplest form, it's coming of age. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Well, David, I'm a big fan. I've been a fan of yours from the beginning. I think you're an incredible director, and I thank you for paying respect for these and making these movies so much fun and so cool.
Right on, man. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Cheers. Good seeing you, brother.
Thanks for seeing my deep cuts. I appreciate it.
Of course. Dude, Snow Angels is literally one of my favorite films.
Oh, that's
so is
cool.
All the Real Girls. So I think a masterpiece. I think it's fantastic. So
Very
I'm
cool.
sorry, kissing your ass a little bit.
Well, always great to talk to you. Hopefully next time not through technologies, but in person.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice. Hoping, man.
Hey, what are you guys doing out here?
It's Halloween. We've been trick-or-treating.
Are you alone?
There's a creepy man in a white mask,
Where?
and he keeps like trying to play hide and seek with us.
Where did you see him? Look! Run! Go home now!
Unlock the door! No! Come on!
We killed Michael.
My grandmother set the fire.
No one told you.
Told me what?
Michael Myers is alive.
A man couldn't have survived that fire. "40 years ago, the boogeyman came for us. We are the survivors of Michael Myers.
Laurie, what do we do?
We fight.
Mom,
Our family will kill him.
we're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this. He is not gonna stop killing until we stop him.
If you track Michael's victims, that's a straight line to Michael's childhood home. Someone's in our house.
He's coming for me, but I'm coming for him.
You want to kill someone? Take me! Michael!
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes.